Hello and welcome. My name is Eli Cohen. I'm the CEO of SalesHood. We are excited to have everyone here who's joining us, and really excited to have John Guerre from Copado, Director of Revenue Enablement, Global Director of Revenue Enablement from Copado here with us. Today, we are going to talk about real AI use cases, real world AI, and mastering and scaling sales team, revenue team readiness with AI. And why is John here? John is an accomplished enablement executive. We've been working very closely with Copado and with John for a number of years, and really it's been a pleasure to work with you. And together we've been making huge changes, huge impacts. We've been really dramatically lifting the productivity numbers over at Copado. And just for those of you that are new to SalesHood, SalesHood is a purpose-built sales enablement solution. We're all about helping companies replicate their top performers, and we do it by achieving breakthroughs in sales productivity, breakthroughs in readiness, effectiveness, and execution. And that's what we do, and it's been a pleasure to work with John. He's been achieving amazing results over at Copado. Participation rates are up, win rates are up, and he's done several webinars with us so far. And there's some great videos of John telling his story. And John reached out to me, John, a month ago maybe, and said, "Wow, what you're doing with AI is incredible. And let me tell you what we're doing here at Copado." And when John shared what he was doing, I was blown away. And I said, we got to get this story out there. So today, John's going to tell a story. He's going to share why he's leaning into AI, what revenue problems he's trying to solve, what are the benefits that he's realizing, his team is realizing. And because we're talking real world AI, he's going to show us. To see it is to believe. He's going to log in. He's going to show us a recent program he's rolled out with AI. And then he's going to teach us on custom prompts. He's going to teach us how to build and how to use custom prompts to scale and master revenue readiness. And then we're going to share some tips. So that's what we're going to do today.
So John Guerre, I am the Global Director of Enablement at Copado. And I've been in this in the sales and marketing leadership role for about 30 years, specifically in the custom application development space, working with Agile and DevOps the entire time, right? Worked with the pioneers of Agile. And I was kind of working with corporate IT and Fortune 500 companies before the internet came along and also after the internet came along. What I find really fascinating with generative AI and the work you're doing is that this is that level of disruption that we saw when the internet came along. And that took years to work through, and it kind of changed how people did business. It changed how we delivered solutions. It changed how we went to market. And what we're seeing now is it's going to be that level of disruption. But instead of it taking years to happen, it's going to be happening over months. And so Copado is 100% focused on bringing AI to our customers. We're doing it with our products. And also we're looking to leverage it internally as much as possible. And we're talking to all of our different partners to see what they're doing with their products, what their roadmap looks like. And I was just so thrilled when I saw what you guys were doing, because it just aligned with a problem that we had to solve in a short time frame. And so, yeah, so we do have a really great real world use case that we could share with everyone out there today.
What are some of the business benefits that, as an enablement practitioner, as a sales and marketing leader, that you are looking to AI to help solve? Before we dig into the demo, like, just talk broadly speaking. It'd be great to hear from you.
Yes, and so I think at the highest level, it's actually moving from kind of passive learning, watch this video, look at this slide deck, typically what sellers are kind of consuming, to active participation. Look, try it out, get out on the field, get into a place where you can actually practice the skill and get feedback instantly. And the fact that you could do that practice and feedback now in minutes, not waiting for a manager to get back to you, which could mean days to get that feedback loop, you can actually do things now that you just wouldn't do because of that feedback loop takes so long. And to me, that's the exciting part, which it lets us move from passive learning to active learning very, very quickly. It really does kind of flip the script on how we actually approach enablement overall.
So tell us, so what excited you? So when it showed up, when we rolled it out, like, how did you start using it?
Yeah. So I had been working a little bit, just like most people out there, experimenting with ChatGPT to take some some sanitized calls and just use those to get some feedback and kind of see kind of what results it gave. And it was great. And it was typically better than if a manager sat down and provided feedback. It is really good. And so we were looking to incorporate that just into our overall pitch practice and into new hire onboarding, as well as new product enablement. And so then when I saw that, it's like, wow, this is perfect. And why it's important to us is AI is forcing Capado and all organizations are really kind of figuring out how do we take advantage of this, which means you got to move quickly. You're bringing new techniques to the field. We're bringing new product ideas to the field. We're bringing new messaging. Right? It's impacting so much of the product landscape that it actually allows us to roll out this new training so much more quickly, right? Because AI is impacting our business. Now the question that way is how can we use AI to help us be more efficient and have, kind of deliver kind of what our field needs when they need it and kind of just accelerate overall our pace of being able to deliver.
Right. And push it a step further, efficiency, pace, acceleration of messaging alignment, acceleration of training impact. The expectation then, like when you're talking to Ted and your leadership team, like what do they want to see happen faster with AI? Like they want
right. They want more business. They want more results. Yeah, that's at the end of the day. It's more results. And what's important is now get more results, and we're going to change things much more quick. The pace of change is increasing. So we need to be able to embrace that change and deliver it more effectively. And this AI lets us do that. And just as an analogy for folks that have a background and anyone with background in software development and software agile methods, you saw this transition point. It was really what changed the game for software delivery and specifically agile was when you can automate the testing. Once you were able to automate the testing, it fundamentally changed how organizations approach software development. They started doing certain things much earlier and doing smaller things more frequently through the process. And I see a very similar analogy here. With this approach, you could do smaller bite-sized learning and kind of spread it out over time. It's so much more easier to consume. And it's an active way of learning. You're actually practicing instead of reading something or just zoning out, listen to a video. To me, that's the fundamental shift that we could pull all that active learning much earlier into the process, which means they just get better at it sooner, which means they're more efficient or the organization's more efficient.
Listen, our goal here at SalesHood, we want to help every sales and marketing organization, every go-to-market team embrace AI to realize a lot of the same benefits that Copado and that John are realizing inside of their organization. The efficiency benefit, the pipeline progression benefit, the win rate benefits. And so that's our goal. And this is why we're doing this. We want to really show you what's real and kind of get through all the noise of hype. And I think you should tell us, let's give us the context, right? So you leaned in to use the AI coach and you leaned in to solve a very specific problem at a very important time with a very short timeline. Tell us about that first core use case that really helped the organization embrace AI.
Sure. Yeah. So, about 6 weeks ago, we had our big annual event. It's called Dreamforce. And I know, Eli, you're very familiar with Dreamforce. And for those who are not in the Salesforce ecosystem, it is the largest tech show in the universe that takes place. I believe that's true, right? It is the largest tech show. A bunch of people with backpacks descend on San Francisco and they just sell out the place, like 40,000+ people. So it is our largest marketing event of the year. It is our largest deal closing event of the year, and it is our largest lead gen event of the year. It is a significant event for Capado. And so we have, we have to get ready now for Dreamforce. We have experienced, seasoned product people going out there. We have sales reps going out there. We have SDRs who've been on board maybe for 2 or 3 months. And so we want to get everybody prepared because we're going to be meeting people into line at the coffee line, could be manning a booth. And you have people from all different backgrounds kind of coming up and asking, so what does Capado do, right? So we want to have everyone just ready so we can get the maximum return on investment out of that show. And we have about 60 people that we're going to be representing Capado out there, either at the booth or kind of supporting us in the speaker slots and all different kind of roles at it. So we've got 60 people that we got to get ready to be conversation ready for Dreamforce, which that's a several week exercise to take everyone through, going through all the content, practicing the pitch, getting some feedback, refining it based on that. And we were able to take Companion AI and build that in to that Dreamforce huddle. And everyone was able to go through it. And it was serious. We went from weeks to literally days to get everyone kind of through and ready
I love
for
it.
the event.
I love it. So for context, folks, when we talk about messaging alignment, when we talk about mastering and scaling, revenue team readiness, conversational readiness, I love that language. Old way, you set up a call, you give everyone the messaging, maybe folks get a document that they can read, maybe they're ready. New way, boom, they're using a purpose-built sales enablement solution like SalesHood. You're pushing out a messaging certification. Folks go through it. They get scored by their managers. They get a badge. They get a certification. That takes multiple weeks. It's a huge improvement. We went from months to weeks with the automation of SalesHood, and now I heard you say with AI, we got it down to days and hours. Is what I heard with AI, mostly because the AI. Well, you're going to show us, right?
Yeah, I'll take you through, give you kind of what we did, show you what we did for this.
I think that's it. I think I think we all would love to see how are you using technology, how are you using AI Coach to achieve this goal of getting your 60 revenue team folks pumped up, motivated, conversationally ready, and just a headline, folks. Here is the pitches were so good that I saw your CEO talk about executive alignment, I'm going to give the punchline. Taking some of those videos that were being delivered and being scored by AI in practice, taking some of them and sharing them on LinkedIn because they were like amazing. Congratulations to you. And so tell us, you got to show us. I got to see it.
Okay, yeah. I'll take you through it. And I'll say one of the things that really helped make it really work really well was as we were putting together the huddle and specifically the pitch module, we would actually try. I did like 7 or 8 of them myself, and just to get the feedback. And as I was getting that feedback, it's like, that's really good feedback. And I'd tweak it a little bit, and I'd kind of tweak the prompt. So it was so easy to rapidly iterate. I mean, me sitting here in about an hour was able to rapidly iterate through that to get it ready, and then we were able to roll it out.
Right. So hold on. So you got a messaging document, from marketing, which was great. And then you took it and then you created the materials. But part of the materials was you had to do one yourself. And then when you did it and you got the feedback from the AI coach, you were tweaking the prompts, and that helped make it even better and better. Wow. You were using.
Yes, right. So using the AI to give me feedback, which I went and changed the script based on it, refined the script, and then kind of tweaked it a bit. And so adjusting the script and adjusting the prompt at the same time ended up with a much tighter product at the end of the day. And again, in about an hour to 2 hours doing all that, which normally, how long that's going to take.
We know
it takes too long that you don't do it. Right.
You get on calls with people, there are reviews, you're editing documents, you got to get up, like, boom, you just got the best of the best. Amazing. I love it.
Right. And I'll say this, and I'll show you what we did, because I think this was pretty cool. So one of the experiments I did was, one of the iterations was, give me feedback. I did 2, right? 2 this way. One, as if you were Steve Jobs, and it gave me feedback the way Steve Jobs would typically do it. In fact, what that one did was Steve Jobs rewrote it for me. Right. So that was really cool. Oh, and the other one was
the AI just knew it needed to be rewritten.
You're just going to redo it. Right. And it gave one a feedback as if you were Mark Benioff, and it did. It gave feedback very tight, just the way, he talks and the way he delivers a message. So anyway, it's really amazing. Everyone needs to be experimenting with it now. And there's so many use cases where this could be applied. We are absolutely in the first innings with this. All right. So should I show you what we did, Eli?
John, I think that would be great.
And so the background on this, normally we always want to get way out ahead of these shows, and we do. We start planning these for 6 months in advance. But this is one that there were so many changes in the business coming where we're incorporating AI into it, and we're getting ready to bring that to folks at Dreamforce. We found ourselves about a little over a week out saying, look, we got to get everyone now booth ready for this and to be ready to kind of support those conversations. And so working with product marketing and our leadership team, we put together this huddle. And what it contains, it's got an enablement deck, which just walks you through the show, where we're going to be, how to invite attendees, just standard stuff that you'll find. We have some billboards that we ran outside of San Francisco, so we're showcasing those to our team. We have a product called Capado GPT now that actually you can use on your phone. we have to get everyone ready. We have to get everyone to get it set up on their phone so they could be using it to support them at the show. That alone, getting everyone to get this new thing set up on their phone is a week or two by itself, right? So we kind of put that into the huddle. We put together a sample pitch for folks to have. Hey, someone walks up to the booth. What are you going to say? All right. You want to engage them in a good conversation. So we kind of had that scripted out and then kind of show them how to do your pitch. And then finally have them deliver the pitch and get the feedback. And as I was putting this, it was about 2 days, as I was working, 2 days before I was working on this, I came across the AI. We were going to use AI. We were going to use the keywords. But then I saw this advanced section that had that prompt. And I remember I dropped Danica a note, said, wait a minute, what is this? And we instantly just built that, used that to provide the prompt, to provide the real-time feedback on the pitch that was submitted. And that was the absolute game changer for us. And so we rolled it out. I think we rolled out on a Tuesday. We had just about 100% completion by Friday, except for some folks that were on vacation. They got to it early Monday morning. So think about it. Over 60 people went through and completed their Dreamforce certification and readiness in less than 5 days without requiring every single manager or someone else to go and review every pitch, provide feedback. Some people told me separately that what they liked was they did their pitch. They got the real-time feedback. They didn't submit it. They did a retake, and they did 2 or 3 retakes, and then they submitted it based on that. And again, that took them 10 minutes. Now, here's one of our SDRs. He went through and he gave his pitch, right? And, here's your AI criteria that you have. Are you mentioning the key phrases? Are any restricted phrases? You got the duration, the pace, and the tone, which is good feedback to get. And generally, anything more than that, you're going to have a human review it and provide feedback. But right here, AI coach is giving them kind of specific feedback on the pitch, and they're able to, what you don't see here is you get this feedback before you submit it.
Yeah.
And then what you can do is you can actually refine it based on that. And we had several people go through that and kind of refine their pitch and resubmit it for the final.
Could you zoom in a little bit? Just take a moment. Like overall, the pitch is informative and covers the key points about Kapato's offerings. Amazing. However, there are a few areas where improvements can be made to make the pitch more engaging and effective in driving leads. Personalize the intro, use a conversational tone, focus on the visitor's pain points, provide more concrete examples. And it's actually using Kapato examples, right? Provide specific details about how Kapato helped those overcome those challenges and offer it. This is incredible.
Yeah, what I think is key is it's understanding that getting those prompt skills, right? I mean, it's like prompts are the new plastic. So pick your metaphor, but it's so important to work on your writing those prompts and refine it and practice it yourself. This is something that it's so easy to do. Is I submit 5 or 6 pitches myself when I'm preparing it, and then I modify the prompt. So working on that prompt, refining that prompt is a very important part of this process.
I think that's the skill and the competency that sales and marketing leaders and enablement practitioners are going to need to quickly learn, right? Because this is I'm going to use the word superpower, right? And so the reason why we've asked John to come here is he's leaned into it. He's got a lot of lessons and tips and when we just don't want anyone to be afraid of being creative and engaging with prompt builders.
So I'm going to give you something that came up in conversation with we have some a new BDR team out in EMEA, and we need to get them ramped very quickly, and they need to get certified on a whole range of things: product information, product training, message delivery, objection handling, right? All these things that you see written down in documents that people read, but it's when you actually start practicing those things where you can get really good at them, and the information starts to stick, and you become much more fluent at it. And so this is where this concept of conditional prompt come in, right? And we've been working with this where we want to be able to set up a huddle where you imagine you take a BDR, and they're going to have a narrative. They're going to record themselves. And it might start out something like, many of our customers were using X product, right? And that X is something that can be conditional. Pick one or 2 or 3 of your competitors. And based on who the competitor is, you might want to have them say certain things, a certain talk track based on your strengths relative to that competitor. So in this case, we're actually building custom prompts that will let them go through, and it could be, hey, this is an objection that's going to come up. If they mention this competitor, here's what you should be saying. And you can see that applying to products or different personas, right? You might have a talk track that's going to be different if you're talking to a business executive than if you're talking to a technical leader. You're going to emphasize different points in those, right? So now we're setting these up, and I'll show you how this works is at the bottom. You can see this, right? We are, let me zoom
Totally.
that up a
So,
bit.
by the way, you've got at the very top, you've
Yeah.
got, let's just kind of walk through this. So,
Yeah.
so the AI criteria. And so let's just kind of just,
Mhm.
so there's enable AI criteria. So now you can just one
Yep.
box enable it. And then key
Yep.
phrases. So that's where you could put in key
Yep.
phrases, smart.
Mhm.
Restricted
Yep.
phrases, amazing. Duration, and then you've got your times, and then pace, tone. Like that's a lot
Yep.
there. And then this was kind of your thing when the custom prompt showed up. That's where it got really interesting. So now that's what you were just explaining.
Yeah.
Customized AI instructions. I love
Right. Yep, right. And even those key phrases, I'm starting to embed those into the prompt as well, right? Give them feedback. Did they use these key phrases or they did not? A separate section, right? They'll get feedback on use of that in addition to it showing up right as they're giving the pitch. So in this example, I just made up some competitors, right? So one of them being Blue Magic, right? These are not real companies, but if the competitor is Blue Magic, make sure you're focusing on these particular things, right? The ease of implementation, the time to value, and the long and short term ROI. If the competitor is Green Wonder, make sure you're focused on flexibility, mobile readiness, and FedRAMP certification, right? And so then what the exercise is, you're gonna have a couple of options. You're gonna then present one, and you're gonna talk to like this, Eli, would be something like, many of our customers were using Blue Magic before they came to us. And the reason they switched is, and they go through that talk track, and then they get feedback on it right away. So I'll show you. So I did a test of this, and I'll show you what the feedback that was given to me.
I
And I
love it.
think on this one, I left out some of those key messages.
Yep.
And so this is here's some feedback that I got. Just tell me you know, what I did well. I highlighted the successful customer who switched from Blue Magic and they achieved significant ROI. But with the areas that I can improve, right? Provide specific examples. I didn't kind of really go into the reduction, the ease of implementation and time to value. So it really kind of is able to narrow down and give me that feedback. And then the same could apply if I picked a different competitor. You'll also see in this, and this is so cool. Everyone should be doing this. Like if you haven't started playing with this, now you should, because you're going to start identifying the use cases. Other areas is just like acing the call, right? When you acknowledge, confirm, and set expectations.
Yeah.
Right, this is simple things to practice,
Dude,
right?
hold
But you
on.
can set up a huddle just to practice this kind of
I
stuff.
love this. So we talked about Dreamforce prep, which was, everyone has to get their teams better for conversationally ready. Objection handling is another way you're using AI coach to get your SDRs ready. And then ACE, what does ACE the call do?
Yeah, so ace the call. This is for basic opening a meeting. But you know what? Everyone knows you have training on how to open a meeting, but you should practice opening the meeting, especially when you're talking about kind of perhaps newer reps. And it's just a way of going in, and I believe I got this one kind of built out a bit. Did I? I'm trying to see if I did one. Yeah, I actually didn't save this one, but in this case, you're going in. I believe we've got the prompt for this, and just giving some feedback on how are you setting up that meeting? Are you setting expectations? Are you acknowledging and appreciating them taking the time to meet with you today? Being clear on what the objectives of the meeting are, and just your basic meeting opening, right? So very easy to just practice that meeting opening and then get feedback
I love
on
it.
that.
John, I really appreciate, we all appreciate you walking us through this. Is there more to demo, or is that kind of the areas you wanted to focus in on? We've demoed a lot, by the way.
Yeah. So that's it. It is yeah. So those areas I want to hit on. There's a couple questions that came in
So
the chat as
let's
well.
stop sharing. Let's stop sharing so
Okay.
that we can put the focus on you. Let me ask one
Sure.
question, and then we can dive into some of the questions. I want to ask one question because you shared some feedback. So what anecdotal feedback do you have from your revenue teams, from your people that went through the Dreamforce prep in terms of how they were more prepared? What anecdotal feedback do you have from them? I even think you got feedback from a buyer.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, the general feedback was that they just, and especially the more the more two areas, the more junior people just love, no, okay, I'm going to a booth and I really know what I should be doing now when I'm there, and these strangers with lanyards are walking up to me and how I should be engaging them, but also other folks with the amount that we threw at them with like this new mobile technology that they were going to be using, that they were actually able ready to very quickly go through this and go through it at that pace. So that was across the board from new folks to experienced folks, positive feedback there. But even later on, we had a customer like send an email back to one of our BDR managers just complimenting how crisp and on message somebody was and easy to talk to. It was amazing. And so, yes, we've even had a feedback coming from some of our prospects.
Got it. And tell me a little bit about, tell us a little bit about kind of at the executive level. So when you rolled out the AI coach and then it started kind of going viral inside of your business and in the culture,
Yeah.
what did you hear from other executives at Copado?
Right. So the feedback was it was the epiphany moment, right? The light bulb goes on. It's like, wow, now this is a great application of AI. I want to use this with my group. I want to use this to help my group kind of focus on some skills development and getting kind of maybe getting better at delivering certain messages. And without them seeing it in real life, it would have been hard to make the connection. And now, so we have other groups within Capado that want to be applying this to their teams.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to just take a moment and I want folks to appreciate from a technology perspective. Everything that John shared with you is maintained and contained in their private instance. I think it's very important when we think about AI, when we think about ChatGPT, when we think about the efficiencies we want to gain, and when we think about our data, we think about our content, we think about our people. When his people are the custom prompts that John is writing is remain private to his business and to his instance of saleshood. The pitches that are submitted, the feedback that's submitted, private, private, private. And the way we've architected it, we added a ChatGPT layer inside of the entire saleshood platform across the readiness pillar, effectiveness pillar, and execution pillar. So for the whole thing. And so we're leveraging the best of ChatGPT. It's an open API. We brought it in, but none of the data goes back. So we're not training the external world and no one has access to it. I think, John, it's just people need to appreciate that you're doing this with security being top of mind. Any comments on that?
Yeah, no, 100%. That we talked very early on about this, how secure and private it is, because we have the same thing with our customers. So we have an AI product that our customers use, and this is a question that everyone asks, right? And so very early on, we had a conversation with your team, and you got us confident that it was safe and secure, and we could be putting this information in, and it wouldn't leak out anywhere.
What about the managers? How are the managers reacting to the AI coach and the Dreamforce, the objection handling? How are they reacting?
Yeah, so it's been very positive, and what they like is they get to see the feedback of AI coach through a pitch. So instead of going in and watching a pitch, you get to see the feedback, and that feedback tells you so much. I need to watch this entire pitch, or you know what, this is great score. I might just actually pick one or two things, but even better is they tend to get good ideas that come out of it. And you contrast that against what we have as standard motion, where we're reviewing gong calls all the time. You have an hour long or half hour, an hour long sales call. You're listening to an hour long call. And they were able to go into this and not have to watch the entire video. They could actually get that, use the feedback. It really helped them set a priority to how much of their time they should be dedicating to this. So very positive response that way.
What advice you give an enablement practitioner, more than an enabler, like anyone in sales and marketing that wants to get started with AI, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, so you got to start. And I remember years back, somebody mentioned something, you can't learn tennis out of a book. And what he meant by that is you got to get out and you just got to start hitting balls. And so if you're not sure what to do, sit down, create a test huddle, put the pitch module in there, create a custom prompt. I think you might have had a blog post recently, or you got some content with some samples. Just create a custom prompt, and it could be anything, and deliver it yourself. And then look at the feedback and just start experimenting with that. I would start there. I would also go to ChatGPT, just independent from anything related to your business, and just start asking questions to it and get practice the skill of prompt writing, because prompt writing is how you direct this AI. And the better you are at the prompt, the better you're going to be at AI development. So I would say there's definitely some focus time. If you're not up to speed on prompting yet, you're not comfortable, I would put time in the calendar. I would block out an hour, a couple of times a week to practice prompt development. In fact, I would go into ChatGPT and say, I am new at writing prompts. Give me a 2-week training program with no more than 3 hours a week, 1 hour at a time that I can learn prompts. And it's actually going to give you the schedule for doing that.
Sales is a purpose-built sales enablement solution, and we're all about replicating success, right? And so what we've done is we've used AI now across our core pillars of the platform. John, we spent time today focusing in on readiness. We also have an AI publisher, so you can create content and you can create content briefs. It's pretty amazing. We also have an AI sales assistant coming out very, 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 very soon. I think a lot of folks are talking about this, but you can imagine call finishes, your Zoom call, your whatever call finishes. We're taking that information in real time. We're writing the email recaps. We're doing content recommendations. We're actually creating a branded client site, and even going as far as writing the video, the thank you video that a salesperson should do. So we're thinking holistically of the AI applications by persona, right? So there's the AI coach, there's the AI publisher, there's the AI sales assistant. Couple weeks ago, we rolled out the Medic AI as well. So that's available to our customers. And as John said, we're just getting started here. And so we invite you to meet us, take a meeting, get a demo. So you can make that request right now. And one of the folks on my team would be more than happy to kind of show it to you and get your hands dirty with it, get you rolling this out with your teams, because to see it is to believe it. And I can promise you, if you're in enablement, if you're a sales manager, if you're a sales leader, you're a marketing leader, and you're not doing something with AI, we'll guide you, we'll help you, we'll get you to where you need to be, and you'll become a rock star, just like John is at his business. He's a rock star. Not only is he driven to help drive up win rates and participation rates and help the company drive up, attainment, and he's recognized as really helping to contribute to that. He's now helping them lean into AI, and that just has huge, huge benefits, cultural benefits, and just overall benefits to the company. So I want to celebrate you, John, because you truly are an AI superhero right now in the world, and we appreciate you.
If somebody hasn't started using this yet, you got to start. Alignment and alignment is so important. So if you haven't started yet, there was a question about our completion rate on the Dreamforce huddle. It was effectively 100%, and that's because we had alignment. It was from the top down. And when you have that alignment, then things get done. And so the final thought is, if you haven't started yet, find that business partner, find that high priority use case, and then collaborate with them, show them what it could do, and get a partner in the business to help you roll this out. And that's what we had for Dreamforce. We really were partners with the business in rolling this out. And when people see it, it's like something different. It really is a game changer. It was unlike any other enablement that we've done before.
Yeah.
And people were just very,
enablement
very grateful for that.
Just became super cool. I want to thank you, John, for being a great partner. I want to thank you for showing us how you're using AI in your business and showing us a live site. But I want to thank you on behalf of the whole industry for really helping to drive the profession forward with the results you're having at Copado, and now with AI. You're just an amazing leader, an amazing practitioner, and just thank you very much for being a great partner with us.